Okay guys, I'm here today with André Galvao. Huge honor for me. I don't need to introduce him to everybody. I think everybody knows how he is. The guy who has the most titles on the ADCC. 5 or 6 times world champion on IBJJF. Six times world champion on IBJJF, ADCC 5 times.
6 times ADCC.
6 times ADCC. This is
3 times world pro.
3 times world pro.
10 times Spain. Just black.
And the list keeps going. And guys, I was just at his school. This is the 3rd mat of the school. Yes. And there's another 2 huge mats over there. There's close to 80 or 90 people on the mat over there. And really impressive what this guy has done. And today he just showed the entire structure all about how to deal with the close guard. And today he's gonna show us here. And it's a lot about also open the guard from the knees, right?
Exactly, yeah. So in this instructional is more about opening the guard without exposing yourself too much. Because when you stand up, yes, you can open the guard, but you end up like exposing yourself. Like let's say if you're always someone that likes to do a lot of leg entanglement or work with lapel and all these things, you know, it's kind of like easier.
No, and I think everybody has this idea that I think like that. For example, every time someone put me in the close guard, I gotta stand up and open.
Yeah.
I cannot even think about it. I gotta stand up and open. Yeah. So you also open the close guard from the knees. And you were mentioning, like, I think you opened the Lovado's close guard, which is one of the best close guards out there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember like in 2008 at the Worlds, he closed the guard on me and then I opened from my knees, you know. Like using my knees on the floor without exposing myself too much because he has long legs, you know, and I'm not like a tall guy, you know, so and then I feel like because he has long limbs, like he could like use his frame on his favor, like the way I stand up. So I prefer like to keep my knee on the floor, so that way I don't give too much options to my opponent to go for leg entanglements or sit up and get a single leg right after I open, you know, or set up an X guard or a K guard.
No, and that's something interesting about you. Like we don't see you stuck on leg entanglements that much, right? Like even when you fought against Toquinho on Toquinho's prime, he didn't even get close to the leg, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when I was a white belt, I started learning a lot about like this. You know, my first instructional, like my first instructor actually loved like to teach me like those things, like when people get your legs and all that. And I deal with that like since my white belt days. And right here at the gym, we have a lot of high-level guys, and I always like figure out ways to like to
yeah, you were a very big thinker in jiu-jitsu, right? You were always developing techniques. Like just like 5 minutes ago, you made a video about the hippoplata.
Yes.
And I saw you do.
And I'm using a long time.
Yeah, and you
like for example, like when people talk about the Kiss of the Dragon. I'm doing Kiss of the Dragon since my brown belt days. And it's just like back in the day, we didn't have too much YouTube. You know, we didn't have all that. So no social media. So, and I was using the reverse lahiv a lot. I was one of the first ones.
Yeah, you were always like the well-rounded type of grappler. Like
I like to study jiu-jitsu. I believe jiu-jitsu is like a software. You know, like you need to update. If you don't update, you get behind.
Yeah,
so that's my mindset.
That's a cool way
of because if imagine like I won my first world title when I was as a black belt back in 2005, and my last world title in 2017. In 2017, exactly. There's a gap of 12 years. Imagine if I have the same jiu-jitsu of 2005 and 2017.
I follow your career, and even on the lower belts as well, you won purple and brown belt, double gold in the worlds as a middleweight, right?
Yes.
Which is like really impressive.
Yes, lightweight as a purple and middleweight brown belt. And back in the day, we had the World Cup a week before.
Yeah.
So I won double gold there too. Yeah. It was pretty much shoot like 4 world titles in like less than a week.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Yeah. But anyways, let's do the close guard.
All right. So the close guard here, a very simple way for you to open the close guard from your knees. Okay. You know, like your opponent will always try to break your posture, right? And try to shake it to the side or cross your arm. So he needs angle, right? Your opponent needs angle. So it's very important to control the lapels. And I like to keep my knuckles here at first. Because if you try to close and cross my arm, it's going to be a little bit harder, right? I can feel both of his shoulders on the mat. Another thing is, your opponent cannot go with the butt over one of your knees. Because that's when you start creating angles, right? And then you can start underhooking you and start like going for arm bars and omoplatas and all that, exactly. So every single time that an opponent like starts escaping the hips, like escape her hips, I always like move my knee outside, okay? And another thing, pay attention on my toes. So I always keep my toes like this. Okay. I don't like to flap my toes like that. Why? Because sometimes like people can use the flower sweep and actually Xande Rivera is really good on that. Like, yeah, they shake it to the side. Yeah. So you don't have time to post. Anytime that your opponent moves you, you don't have time to post. But when you are on your toes, and I call these like a tiger feet, right? You have a tiger paw, right, on the floor like this. So you can easily like post if you need, right? So you can be faster. And also if you need to stand up, you can stand up faster as well, instead of keeping flattening.
And I like this posture as well, because the transition for this to no-gi is pretty simple too, right? Because you can pretty much use the same thing. And
yeah, exactly. Just like with your hand on the bicep right here, or like on the neck. Okay? So I use my knuckles against your armpit right here, and I keep my knees outside, all right? So now it's my posture, right? Sometimes your opponent will try to bring the legs like over and closer to, it's like this, right? So you cannot accept that. And you cannot accept any of his legs over one of your shoulders. For example, if you put the leg over my shoulder, put your leg over my shoulder. It's like, like this. He's like doing an S mount from the bottom. Because at the end of the day, the closed guard is a mount position upside down. It's an upside down mount position, right? It's the same thing. The same attacks you use from mount to finish your opponent, you're gonna use from the closed guard, right? So it's very important to always shimmy and keep your shoulders inside and your elbows also outside. So your elbows are the knees of your arm, right? So you need to keep the knees outside always, okay? Never inside, okay? So now, the way I posture here, I make sure I keep my butt closer to my heel, and now I need to make this exchange. I'm gonna grab your pants, just like that. I use these two fingers here, and then I make a little glove for my fingers. I don't grab inside the pants, okay? I grab right here, and then I use this part of my hand against your hip, okay? Just like that, okay? So now I keep this hand here still because you're gonna try to break my posture. You like pull both the collars, grab both collars, Bernardo, and try to break my posture, even with both hands, one hand each collar. Like sometimes they try to bring you here. So you're gonna keep like really in a good posture. You cannot be like this. You just keep right here.
Yeah, okay? There's no way to break.
Yeah, so it's hard for you to break. So now I will keep your hip on the floor and I use a lot of weight right here on my hand. Okay, I want your butt far from my leg, okay? So now what I do here, I'm gonna place one knee between your leg here, okay? Just like that, and then immediately I'm gonna put my other hand here, and I'm gonna start, this is a very important part right here, turn around. Yep. All right, pay attention on my hips, close your legs are closed, right? Yep. Yeah, so look what I do. Once I'm here, I'm gonna turn my hip, look, I'm gonna move my hip like this. Go back. So you see there's a gap here. A little triangle.
So you place your hip over there.
So I place my hip to fill up this gap. So I go like this.
Good.
You see? I fill up the gap. Once I fill up the gap here, now I keep a good, the good posture here with my hand against your leg. So you're gonna try to break my posture here. I keep myself.
Yeah, my leg is open.
So now your leg's already open, right? But keep your leg closed. So I go one, look, fill the gap, and now I align my knee that's on the butt with the other knee, and I sit to the other side, and I turn to the other side.
Man, it's open.
So now I open. So now when I'm here, there's different things Bernardo can do. He can control my sleeves, or it's like this, or he can keep holding my collar, right? But what I like to do here, now I have a space. I just place one leg, not between his legs, because he go for deep de la riva, right? So I place my leg outside of my elbow here. You see my tricep, turn around. So when I need to place my leg, I don't do this. A lot of people do this, and that's when they're gonna get the la riva. I go here. Because now I can have an option to start like going this way and use my frame.
And everything is open.
Yeah, everything's open. Even if you're controlling my sleeves, right? So yeah, I can start like grabbing you here and then Then the windshield wipers.
Yeah, that's incredible. Andre, everything you showed, there was a lot of like new details, and the position that everybody knows.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that you did right in the beginning that I had never seen before, and I think everything started from there. So the way you set up this grip over here and that grip over there, so I think it's probably the second step when you place this hand.
Oh yeah, the hand here, yes.
I think everything starts from here, right?
Yeah, everything starts from here. Exactly.
And this is a posture that nobody uses.
Yeah, I like to use this posture a lot.
And there's no way you can do anything.
Because this hand here is like a tripod, right? It's like holding my weight. When you try to bring me there, exactly. So I need to just like pay attention with your hip skate. I can, like this, right? Go back. But if you do that, you're gonna open your leg, you see?
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna start like,
man, that's amazing.
you know? So if you really wants to keep the leg closed, try to just keep your hips like with the leg closed. It's a little bit harder because I put a lot of weight on your hip, right? And that's when I go here.
Yeah.
Immediately when I put my right knee out, my
so
left
that's the
knee
point.
goes here.
I think this position, a lot of people know. But the hardest part is to set this up.
Yeah.
So the way that you set up, like, I think nobody does that.
And yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of times people, they make a mistake here. When they go here, right, they try to keep their head.
And then in this time,
exactly. Because their head, it's aligned with the hand.
Yeah.
You see?
And then
now like, boom, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes you even headbutt.
So that's why like you have this hand here first.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then how do you do the transition?
So I go here, look. I go 1, I squeeze you here. 2, I put my knee right there between your butt. And 3, when I step my leg out, my hand goes out because look, my head is not gonna be aligned with this hand here anymore.
With the hip line. I got it.
So now look, I have a tripod here.
Man, incredible. And then you step off that leg and you.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible.
And the way like after I open, the way I step the leg is here.
Got it.
It's not here.
Got it.
Everybody does. Most of people do here.
Yeah.
And if you find Muragali, he's gonna like,
that's a problem.
right?
That's a problem.
So you need to like,
try
to go deep down here right now. It's harder. Then I keep your legs apart and I start like closing this space here.
Man, that's incredible.
You know.
And I don't know, a lot of our customers kind of like older people.
Mm-hmm.
And for older people to stand up in the closer is pretty hard.
Very hard. Very hard.
So even like nowadays, or maybe even more nowadays that you're around like 22, 23,
Exactly.
most of the times that you open the guard is from the knees.
Yes, even back in the day, you know, because I always, like, I'm a medium heavyweight as a black belt. I was middleweight and medium heavyweight. Sometimes I fought like heavyweight as well, you know.
Yeah.
But I never made the weight. You know, I was always lighter and smaller. Like all my opponents, they're taller than me.
Yeah.
And they have long limbs and big frames.
Yeah.
So I felt like if I stand up, I would give them too much option. Yeah. So I play more this old school style, you know, where you keep your knees on the floor.
Yeah, and your game was never that very crazy, fancy game. It was a very like solid game.
Yeah.
We've updated stuff like.
Yeah.
It was a solid game with whatever is happening in the scene. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
Yeah, so, and I always, like, once in a while, I come with a surprise.
Yeah,
because once you win, let's say you become a champion, you win one world title, and then people start studying you.
Yeah.
So you need to come up with something new. If you keep the same thing, people will start, like, breaking down, they say, oh, I figured out. So you need to always constantly updating new things, so and then you can surprise your opponents. That's how I think that's how it's working for me like the whole time.
It was working pretty good.
Yeah.
Only 6 words. And
it was good. But a very important detail is like how to fill up the gap. Like filling up the gap here, look, this gap right here, it's important. So you need to like always turn your hip. So I need to like pretty much like be like almost sideways to fill up this gap. Just by filling up this gap, it's already hard for it to close, you know? So once I'm here, and you have long legs, you know, I go 1, so good posture, I go 2, and then I'm here, now fill up the gap. Just like fill up, so I fill up the gap, and then I do like a black cat back, you know? And then you open the leg, just like with one ear.
Yeah.
And the way I put my weight on your hip right here, like putting my weight here, doesn't allow you to jump with your hip inside again. So I put a lot of pressure here.
Yeah.
So I need to have a good pressure. And it's kind of easy for you to stiff arm like this.
Yeah.
Just making sure your elbows, your
and
forearm
I
is
still
here.
use the elbows to open up my
yeah.
legs and don't give me the opportunity.
Yeah. And sometimes people, they like to do this closed guard. They like to go here and they think like squeezing here to open.
Yeah.
But in adrenaline, like you're not gonna feel pain.
I know,
you know? So
and
it's like here, look, break my posture here. Like I'm just like
it's hard.
You see, I fill up the gap, black cat.
Man, that's
and now
amazing.
look,
No, that's
I go
incredible.
here instead of going here.
Yeah. So you made this entire structure
Yeah.
all about opening the closed guard.
Exactly.
Oh.
Only from the knees.
Only from the knees.
Yes, there's like I believe like over 6 hours. Only.
Over 6 hours about opening
Different
the
ways,
closed
different
from
ways.
the knees. Man,
Yeah,
that's
different
incredible.
ways. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so guys, make sure to check that out. It's going to be at IBJJFanatics.com very soon. And maybe by the time you're watching, it's already there. So, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.